Now, this is about the bond guru. Now, Simone Foxman writes about Doubleline Capital Chief Investment Officer and founder Jeff Gundlach. This is at the Sun conference, and what Gundlach said is what's going to happen is you're going to get a Reagan response with Donald Trump. He told a crowd in New York yesterday at the Sun conference, he says he promises a wall. He promises to bring jobs back, and he promises a lot of infrastructure spending. Let's face it, Gundlach says Trump is extremely comfortable with debt. I mean, this is spend your way out of austerity. This is, you know, Varoufakis is probably on Trump's side if Gundlach is right in reading him.
Well, within this has been the last 48-hour binge of Trump analysis. A lot of it will be embarrassing 3 months and 6 months from now. What Mr. Gundlach really is dead on about is the analysis that under Republican administrations, somehow we end up spending more money than Republicans would like to admit to. What I would point out is it's not just about President Reagan, it is about other Republican presidents as compared to the published frugality of Democrats. What I'm talking about here, Francine, is a really delicate debate in the United States. But clearly there's a zeitgeist out there that given a Republican presidency, the spigot gets opened and spending occurs.
Yeah, Tom, I wonder whether the debate has changed in the last 2 or 3 years since we had the debt crisis, certainly here in Europe, and whether people will look at austerity differently, or at least spending. Let's get Paul Gruenwald, the Asia-Pacific chief economist at S&P Global, into the conversation. Paul, as you rightly point out, it depends on what kind of spending a government does.
Yeah, I think there's sort of good debt and bad debt, right? If you look at the U.S., and I'm not the U.S. economist, but if you look at the U.S., I'm American, you need infrastructure. Interest rates are low. There's a good case to ramp up some infrastructure spending that's going to pay longer-term dividends. So if the debt's created to fund that sort of investment, then it's probably okay. If we're talking about just throwing money all over the place and running up the deficit, probably not. So I think we wait for the details on there. There's actually a good economic case if it's heavy on the infrastructure.